What a day. Oh, man. Okay. So I got all this stuff is tung oil. That's provincial. That's honey. Those are going to get torched. Oh, yeah. I got to get my blowtorch. Be right back. I forgot the blowtorch. I forgot my blowtorch. It's going to be hard to torch these steaks if I don't have a blowtorch, so that's probably going to be useful. See if anybody shows up this week. We had some people last week, so we'll see. 4 o'clock on a Friday. Friday the 13th. Perfect day to be oiling up some vampire steaks. Go. That one was easy. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, what's up, Jacques? Hey, Jay. How you doing? Thanks for coming and by. Thanks for the likes, everybody. These are some tire thumpers that I was selling on eBay, but apparently eBay has decided tire thumpers are no longer okay, so I guess they're too close to batons. So we're gonna make some steaks out of them. I got vampire steaks. I got Viking sword waster. I've got a 19th century vampire hunter steak to stain. I've got a custom baseball bat, Negan, play safe Negan baseball bat. I got a stain. I've got a couple of Buffy steaks. A lot of steaks this week. Oh, I've also got some cool daggers made out of Kummeru wood. We're gonna be doing today. First, I got a tung oil up. It's a nice day there. Hey, what's up, Yusuf? Yeah, it's actually pretty nice here this week. We've had cool mornings and warm days, but not too hot. A little warm in the shop right now because we haven't really been running the air conditioner because the weather's been so nice. Hey, Oscar, how you doing? Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. Now, I got a big old Viking sword waster. These are the standard Viking sword wasters in my shop. All of the wasters and bowkin in my shop are guaranteed against breaking for up to 1 year under normal use. All you got to do is send me a photo and tell me how it broke so that I can figure out if it was an issue with the grain or if it was a design flaw, and I will send you a replacement for free. No need to return the old one, nothing like that. Oscar, right now I am tongue oiling a Viking sword waster. The tongue oil penetrates the wood, seals and protects it, makes the wood a little bit stronger. And tomorrow it'll get a second coat. All right, let me toss this and get a new towel. Or rag, I should say. Oh, thanks, Lucas. I appreciate that. These are all available in my shop on eBay. If you're interested in one. I also do custom wasters and custom bowkin for people. If you have a particular type of practice sword that you use and you can't find it online, I am glad to make one for you. Now, these are, every year I make a limited edition stake. This year I'm doing Ipe wood with a bellied handle, conical tip. So I made 2 more of these this week. So I've got 4 of these made now. I got to make about 6 to 11 more of these before, depending on how many I decide to make at the end of this run. I usually make about 10 to 15, somewhere in that range. Of these limited edition ones, they come with a certificate of authenticity that tells you what I sell them, basically from the first one I made to the last one I made. And so they sell in that order, and you'll get a certificate telling you which in the order it was and what year. But yeah, these are pretty sweet. Ipe wood, some people call it ironwood. Pretty awesome stuff. Very strong. Very, very sharp. The tips on these are awesome. I've already sold out of all the limited edition stakes for 2025, so I decided I would maybe start a little earlier this year on 2026. Last year I only made a few. This year I'm going to make, didn't have quite enough of the wood that I had planned to use. This year I've got plenty of the wood that I'm using, so I'm going to make a bunch more this year than I did last year. Not a bunch more, still a limited run. Still only going to be no more than 15 of them. Rubbing wood again. I'm always rubbing my wood, my guy. What's up, Dave? How you doing? Do I have a store, Oscar? Yes, I do. You can find links to my store in my bio here and on Instagram and TikTok. My store is on eBay, Warrior Wood and Props. You can go to my shop on eBay. To be honest, the easiest way to find me, if you can't just use the link in my bio, is just go to eBay and search for Vampire Steaks, because my store has like the largest collection of vampire steaks you can find online. Vampire Hunter Steaks. So yeah, just go to eBay and search Vampire Hunter Steaks, and my shop will probably come up on the first page. All right. But these are not up for sale yet. I need to make at least 8 of these before I list them for sale. So I got to make about 4 more of them before I will list them. It'll probably be March by the time I list these for sale. And then these are fun. I've got a bunch of these laminate slats for of Kummeru, which I don't really have a use for laminate slats most of the time. So I've been making daggers out of them. And I know it looks thin, but Kummeru wood, you guys, it is probably one of the strongest woods you could ever possibly imagine. It's got a Janka hardness of 3,200 to 3,700 pound force. This stuff is freaking strong. And they make great stabbies. But please don't stab anyone with my stuff. I would appreciate it. No committing of the crimes with my stuff, please. Hey, what's up, Maddie? Right now I'm tongue oiling a Kummeru wooden dagger / vampire hunter dagger. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I got rid of the back of the Mohawk. It was getting in my way, Dave. I was done with it. It kept getting caught up in my respirator and it was just getting annoying, so I went ahead and got rid of the back side of the Mohawk. I kept the top. All right, let me get this one put away. I got one more of these to tongue oil. And for those of you who are new, I go live on Fridays at 4 p.m. for Friday staining. It used to be Saturday staining, but I got tired of getting up super early on Saturdays just to come over here and do this. And then Sunday mornings, I do Sunday finishing work at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, where you get to see me finish all this stuff. Like these are going to get their handle wrapped. This cross stake over here is going to get handle wrapped. This baseball bat's... oh, no, wait. This baseball bat's not going to get a handle wrap because it's a Negan bat. Negan doesn't have a wrap on his bat. So... I do have to burn a faux logo oval into it after the stain cures. But there we go. When did I start my store, Oscar? Probably about 3, maybe 4 years ago. Started out on Etsy. Etsy kicked me off because I was selling Eskrima sticks and they claimed I was selling batons. Batons, people get really pissed about batons. But I was selling Eskrima sticks, not batons. I don't know why they were upset with me over it. But yeah, Etsy booted me off for weapons violations because I was selling Eskrima sticks. eBay's been a lot cooler with it. eBay, their weapons policies are a little bit clearer than eBay's. Or than Etsy's. But I've had this store for about 3 years. I currently do have a website, warriorwoodenprops.com. I don't recommend going to it because it's a Shopify hosted store, and Shopify had a brain fart last year, and for some reason my shop doesn't work. I can't log into my account, and Shopify does not have customer support. That is not just bots, and the bots don't seem to be able to help me. I can't find a person to help me. Right now I'm paying $40 a month for a store that doesn't even work. All right, let me get this put away. And we're going to do some staining. Super exciting stuff. Hey, what's up, Maddie? Welcome. All right, let me get this stuff out the way. I just realized I forgot my can opener. Not sure if I want to use my knife to open this or not, but we're gonna give it a shot. So this is a replica of a stake from a 19th century vampire hunter kit. I first made this style of stake probably about 3 years ago. I had a customer, she had gone to an auction at like a goth club, and they had this vampire hunter kit for auction. The vampire hunter kit sold for like $5,000. She didn't want to pay that much, so she sent me some pictures of the stakes, asked me to make some replicas, so I did. And I really liked this design, even though it's really not a very functional design, because I feel like once you get to the cross is going to make problems when you're doing the stabby. But it does look cool. It's a cool looking little thing. So I like making them. They sell I don't make them very often because they're a pain in the butt to make a handle out of a piece this thick. But yeah, they're fun. But I had a piece of 2x4 and figured hadn't made a cross stake in a while, so might as well give it a shot. Probably should put on newer gloves. How much are my knives? I honestly don't remember. They're not a lot. I think they're not more than $40. I sell them as a set of 2. I can't exactly remember how much they are though right now. I'd have to look on my shop. I have one pair. They're more of a double-edged design that are up for sale right now. That set that I just showed, that'll go up for sale probably Sunday after I get done with it. But yeah, those, I mean, everything's different. But those Kummeru daggers, they're not super expensive. The wood is probably the most expensive thing about those. Luckily for me, I almost everything in my shop, a lot of my stuff is made from reclaimed wood. I do have some items that I buy lumber for, but for the most part, a lot of my stuff, I work in home renovations during the week. I work for a company called Artistic Illusions. We do custom home painting. Like if somebody wants a mural or they want a special thing painted in their home, we do that. We do floors, we do countertops, stuff like that. Mostly art stuff. A lot of times when we're doing stuff, people are throwing wood out of old projects, and I rescue a lot of wood on the job. And a lot of that stuff comes back to my shop and gets turned into cool, weird shit. Oh, I forgot a stir stick. Hang on one second. Be right back. You know, I forgot something. Because you got to stir your stain, people. You like my streams? Thanks, Oscar. I appreciate that. I enjoy doing it. It helps me be a lot less bored while I'm sitting here staining and oiling my wood. At least once every live stream I get a stroking your wood joke. Almost every live stream I get at least one on my staining live streams. And you're like, oh, I see you're rubbing your wood, sir. Yes, I am. Every week. That joke never gets old, folks. Hey, what's up, Sawyer? The crazy brain? Well, you want me to show you my brain? I mean, that's I kind of using it. It's gonna be difficult to show you my brain. It is in use right now. You can see the crazy stuff my brain comes up with. All right. Toss that. Probably should have grabbed another stir stick because I got to switch to a different stain. But right now, Sawyer, we're doing this big honking cross stake. This is a replica. I was telling everybody this is a replica of a stake from a 19th century vampire hunter kit. In the 19th century, those vampire hunter kits were very in vogue for people who were traveling through Romania and Wallachia and parts of Eastern Europe, because the Dracula novel had people believing there were vampires just running around everywhere in Eastern Europe. That actually, what's funny though is Eastern Europeans had believed that for years. You may be wondering why I assemble this before I stain it. The stain makes it really hard to glue the pieces together, so you kind of have to assemble it first. Learned that the hard way the first time I made one. I stained it, all the pieces, and then went to glue it together, and the glue wouldn't hold because of the oil in the stain. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass to stain these after they've been assembled, but what are you gonna do? Oh, the bat with the table saw blade, the no-brainer? Yeah, I can show you that. I can absolutely show that off. apparently a little bit of glue got on the end of that cross piece, and I didn't realize it. That stain is not gonna go in. And the hard part, you gotta get all these little nooks and crannies. You just kind of gotta squeeze it in. But the stain just kind of gives it more of an old, weathered look. And I'll probably distress it a little bit with some ashes and sawdust when it's done to make it look a little more weathered and old and used. Because I find with vampire steaks, that's what most people want. Like I make some really nice ones, but oddly enough, my ugly vampire steaks tend to sell better. I think they fit more that vampire hunter aesthetic. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. Oh, no, missed a spot up there, didn't I? Glad I pointed it at the camera. There we go. And the handle will get just a simple cotton cord wrapped on Sunday morning. When do I stream again? I stream on Fridays at 4 p.m. and I stream on Sundays at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Always Eastern Time. But I know that's really freaking early, and I'm sorry, but that's really the only way I can do it. I gotta have the rest of my Sunday to do grown-up shit, which freaking sucks. I hate being an adult. Do not recommend it at all. 0 stars. 0 stars on adulthood, people. It is not fun. Avoid it at all costs. I highly recommend avoiding adulthood. Got some little divots in the wood here. I want to make sure the stain gets in. I love when there's little stuff like this, these little flaws in there, because it really kind of gives it a weathered and used look. That's why I don't really sand these too much. Just enough to get them splinter free. So I want them to look as rough as possible. And there we go. Now we got a 19th century vampire hunter. And technically this is a hammer steak. Anytime you see a steak with a little pommel on the back, that was for you to hit it with a hammer into the vampire. So yeah, we call those hammer steaks. Also comes from the Hammer films of the 70s and I think early 80s. Good. There we go. But yeah, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. Oscar, I will be back to finish all this stuff. Alright, now I gotta wipe off these gloves. Actually, you know what? Second thought, I probably should just switch gloves, because I do not want to get any dark stain on this bat. So if you're ever wanting to make your own Lucille, your own Negan bat, just so you know, the stain for a Negan bat is honey. That is the color of his bat on The Walking Dead. So if you're planning on doing a Negan bat, you want to get the honey colored stain. There are a few other stain colors that are a little close to honey that also will work, but I have tried all of them, and the one that looks the closest to Negan's bat is the honey stain. I have not used this honey stain in a while. I used to make a lot of Lucille's, but yeah, since The Walking Dead's been off, I don't make them too often. But I have a customer, he already owns one of the real Lucille bats that I've made, and he wanted one that was a little more con safe. So this time it's going to get faux barbed wire. It looks like real barbed wire, but it's not. It is rubber and leather. So it looks real, but perfectly safe. It's still a functional baseball bat, but doesn't have actual barbed wire on it. Can you see the no-brainer right now, Sawyer? No, I gotta finish staining first, my guy. I appreciate the enthusiasm, though. I promise you, dude, I will show it as soon as I finish. Just let me. I got 2 things left to do. I just gotta stain this bat, and I gotta burn these stakes. Or you know what? Just let me finish staining this bat. I'll go grab the no-brainer real quick, and then I'll torch those. All right? I'll compromise with you, but let me finish this bad boy real quick. Let me get another stir stick. I forgot. I needed another stir stick. Yeah, let me stain this bat up, and I will go get the no-brainer, and we'll check the no-brainer out. I'm honestly surprised I haven't sold the no-brainer yet. Like, that thing is awesome. I think if by the end of 2026, if no one has bought the no-brainer, it's just going to become mine because I freaking love that bat. That bat is cool as shit. Ooh. I hope this stuff hasn't. Hang on. Nope, it hasn't. Okay. I was worried it had darkened. It hasn't. It's still honey. All right. Still a honey stain. We're in good shape. I know, but here's my problem with that, Sawyer. I know I should keep it for myself, but I can't do that. Because if I start keeping stuff that I think is cool for myself, I will end up keeping a lot of shit. I don't have room for it. I gotta get it out the door. That's not a good business plan. Not a good business model to keep all your own cool shit. Plus, one of these days, if I really want a bat like that or a bat of my own, I will. I'll probably make my own design and my own stuff. That was a proof of concept for a custom order. The guy wanted a replica bat from this video game Days Gone. They have a bat very similar to that, but he wanted his to look like this, but with the blades. And so I made his, and that was my proof of concept. I didn't do any videos of that one because he didn't want. It was supposed to be some kind of surprise for somebody, and that person followed me online, so he didn't want them to know that he was getting the bat. So I didn't really do any videos or pictures of that one, but I did show off the proof of concept, which is the no-brainer. I just wanted to see if I could actually put a saw blade in a bat and make it look good, and it did. It worked. Woot woot! All right, weirdos. Oh, that still looks awesome. That's perfect. Just like Negan's Lucille. Oh. Just like the Lucille. And then probably Sunday, this is going to get a little oval burned into the side, and it's going to get wrapped with faux barbed wire on my Sunday live stream. And then it's going to go off to the customer. He's already paid for it, so I actually already have Sawyer. I've made the Stranger Things bat, or I've made one similar. If you ever go check out Nugs the Final Girl here on YouTube, she's also on Instagram and TikTok. Nugs, N-U-G-G-S, Nugs the Final Girl. She has a Dale bat that's very similar to the Stranger Things bat. It has a similar paint job to the no-brainer. She liked that paint job, and it's a big old nail bat, and it's pretty freaking awesome. But yeah, I try not to make too many bats unless like that are just shit that I want to make, unless somebody orders them. But yeah, the nail bat I have done. I did it for Nugs the Final Girl. It's called Lights Out Meatball is the name of her bat. It has Nugs the Final Girl on one side and Lights Out Meatball on the other in a reverse stencil. And it's pretty freaking sweet. And it's got a bunch of gigantic galvanized steel nails just hammered through it. And it looks awesome. I freaking love that bat. I've made bats for Refashioned Hippie here on YouTube. I've made bats for B Sparksful. I think she's mostly on TikTok. I made a unicorn bat for her. She never used it, but I made one for her. That one was fun. Had a little LED light inside of a resin unicorn horn. That one was pretty cool. All right, let me put away all this stuff real quick and wipe off this area so that I make sure I don't get stained on these Buffy steaks before we torch them. Oh wait, I'm gonna go get the no-brainer. Hang on, let me go get the no-brainer. Give me 1 second. Let me wipe my hands off. I gotta clean my hands because I don't want to get any stain or anything on it. Yes, you can see the no-brainer now. Hang on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me just clean my hands real quick. I don't want to get anything on it. Nothing worse than paint transfer, which happens a lot if you're not careful. As you can tell, I was working with I was working with the metal, very, very thick metal paint today. It's called like ROS 15 or something like that. Or something like that. POS, I don't know, something. I can't remember what it is. It's 3 initials in the number 15. And I realized afterwards I should have worn gloves because this stuff does not come off. All right. But my hands are clean. They just don't look like it. All right, let me go get the no-brainer. I'll be right back. Be right back. I'm on my way. Woo woo! Here we go. This is the no-brainer. There you go, Sawyer. In all its glory. Oh yeah, that is the no-brainer. This is available for sale on my shop. This is a very similar paint job to what Nugs the Final Girl got on her bat with the fluorescent orange and the reverse stencil. Reverse stencils are fun. They look really cool. If you want something where you want letters on your bat and you want them to pop on camera, a reverse stencil is really good for that because you have a really big dark outline around brighter letters. Highly recommend a reverse stencil if you're looking to make something or you're looking for something that you want that you can read on camera. I've had some people ask for like red and black, and I'm like, red and black will not cut it. You got to have a more color contrast. It is a real table saw blade. Yes, it is. It is a real table saw blade. I cut it in half and flipped it so that the teeth go down on both sides. I have impact tested this on watermelon. It holds up fine. Yeah, but they're embedded with industrial epoxy, and they're also just straight up embedded, like hammered into the wood. And then sealed with industrial epoxy and plumber's putty. These blades are not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. But yeah, not a chainsaw blade, but it's a table saw blade. But yeah, yes, it is a real blade. It is steel. And it will do van damage. All right, Sawyer, can I put it down now? I got one more thing left to do here. Let me put this in here so it doesn't get messed up. Well, yeah, that one was a fun build. That one was fun. Now we got these are Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie poster replica steaks. But to make them look like her steak on the movie poster. I keep pointing over there because I have the movie poster over there. We got to torch them so that they have similar striations to what she's got on her steak in the movie poster. First, we got to wipe this off, make sure there's no stain or paint or anything like that that's going to get into the wood. Yeah, we're good. All right. Oh, how did I think to name it the no brainer Sawyer? So I love zombie movies, and you know that you aim for the brain in zombie movies, and so I thought I'd call it the no brainer. So that way you're braining a zombie with it, and it's the no brainer. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, people, we're going to play a little game called Will Nathan Set Himself on Fire today? I'm going to hope not. Every time I do this, I'm worried I'm going to accidentally torch myself. So we're going to find out today if Nathan's going to torch himself or not. Make sure my striker works. Yep. All right. Woot woot. All right. Let me move the flammable stuff away real quick. That probably would have been a good idea to do before I lit it, but that's all right. Yeah, well, zombies have no brain once you smack them in the head. I mean, they technically have a brain. It depends on what zombies we're talking about, honestly. You know, if it's Walking Dead zombies, like, they have brains. That's why they're reanimated. That's why the only way to take them out is to hit them in the head. Now, Return of the Living Dead zombies, that's a different story altogether. Return of the Living Dead zombies, headshot won't do anything. Because Return of the Living Dead zombies, they're just straight up reanimated. I'm not quite sure how the science behind that works. But, you know, we're talking about zombies. I don't think we need to really get into science. I don't think we need to bring science into the equation. Whoop, almost set that on fire. There we go. Now we gotta do the other one. Ooh, that was hot. I wonder why it was hot. Anybody got any theories on that? Why was that steak so hot? Probably had nothing to do with the fact that I was sitting here blowing it with a blowtorch. These particular steaks, I already have several sets of these in stock. So if you're interested in Buffy replica steaks, I already have several different Buffy design steaks in stock on my shop, including these. I've had last year, around con season, I had a lot of orders for Buffy steaks because it seemed like there were a lot of Buffy cosplayers this last year. I've heard rumors that they're doing a reboot of Buffy. I'm not sure if that's happening still or not, but there have been a lot of Buffy cosplayers. Definitely more than I've seen in a while. Woot woot! I didn't catch myself on fire! Alright, come on. There we go. Woot woot! And there we are. I sell these in sets of 2 just because they're very simple to make, and I feel like selling them one at a time just doesn't make sense. Yeah, probably because I torched it, Sawyer. I think you cracked the code, my guy. All right, so these are done. I can do some show and tell if you guys want. How much time have we got? I got a little bit of time. If you guys want, I can do a little bit of show and tell. I've got a couple works in progress on custom orders I can show you guys. Just let me clean my hands up here real quick. I'm doing I'm speaking of Lucille Negan bats. Right now I'm doing a custom. Oh, how'd I get down there? I'm doing a custom barbed wire bat for a young lady in Texas. She wants a Kuromi themed barbed wire bat. I just finished the initial paint job on that this week. I had to get a special clear coat because the color scheme that she wanted required me to get custom spray paint. And the brand that I used is a new brand, and they of course recommend you use their clear coat on their spray paint. So I got their clear coat. Hopefully their clear coat works as well as their spray paint does. It's Montana, by the way. Montana cans. They're not paying me to say this, but holy shit, their spray paint is freaking awesome. If you use spray paint for cosplay or graffiti or art or whatever, highly recommend Montana cans. Their stuff is not cheap. It's a few dollars more a can. But I've used every possible brand of spray paint you can think of, and they always say no drips, no runs. There's always drips and runs. Montana, not a single drip, not a single run. That stuff is awesome. And I'm hoping their clear coat is as good as their spray paint. What culture have the most wood weapons? I mean, I don't know that there's one. I mean, definitely American and Polynesian cultures, for the most part, had a lot of wood weapons. Mostly cultures that didn't have access to a lot of iron or steel or wood or metal in general. And with them, you see a lot of like the wood stabbies. You know, like in the main Polynesian cultures, you have the Pahoa dagger. The Maori had several different kinds of daggers and clubs that they made out of wood. Native Americans, the Cherokee, the Comanche, the Apache, they all had different designs of fighting knives that were made of wood. And you wouldn't think that a wood knife would work really well in combat. You think it'd be more of a one and done, and it really depends on several things. It depends on what kind of wood you use and what your blade geometry is. The Pahoa dagger is not a bladed knife. It's kind of like those limited edition steaks I did this year. Well, I'll go grab some. Hang on, I'll be right back. Let me go grab some. I'll grab some knives and I'll grab some. Grab that works in progress. All right, so this is the other custom bat I'm working on in progress. This is going to have real barbed wire on it. It's a Kuromi bat. I got a plum diamond design with a lavender purple. It's going to get black. I'm actually still painting the barbed wire. It's going to have black barbed wire wrapped around with, I have to paint each individual barb on the barbed wire gold. And then it's going to get some Kuromi stickers. And it's going to get, well, before I put the barbed wire on, it's going to get a clear coat over all of this. Once I put the Kuromi decals all over it, the waterproof decals, it's going to get a coat of clear coat over everything to kind of make sure everything's even and everything stays where it's supposed to be. Then it's going to get wrapped in gold and black barbed wire. That's going to be fun. Let me put this over here, though, again, so it doesn't get messed up. So, like, here's one. This is an Apache design. It's a very large version of an Apache design. This is made of, I wanted to say this is coffee nut. But yeah, it is bladed. The blade doesn't really do much, but if you were to hit someone with bladed wood, if it's a hard enough wood, it will split the skin. It won't cut, but it will split. But the blade also helps with the stabby insertion. The Maori knew that. The Maori, they use more of a leaf blade design. They don't have hard angles. They more like tape. They more smooth everything out, but it's bladed on both sides. I just sold my last Maori dagger. I need to make another one. I just sold my last Maori dagger this week. And then you have ones like these. These are, the Polynesians called these Pahoa. This is mostly the Hawaiians that use these. These are both museum replicas. This one's 21 inches long. It's got like a tapered in handle so that when you squeeze it, it pulls it into your hand. It makes it a very firm grip, and it's got a conical tip. And I have impact tested these tips. These are made of Kummeru wood, which is I've already talked about, 3200 to 3700 Jenka hardness, very hard stuff. But yeah, these I have impact tested the tips. They are good. They will not take damage against fleshy targets and against fruits. I wouldn't recommend stabbing it into wood or metal, but they will definitely. You can repeatedly stabby with these. But please don't stab anyone with my stuff. Again, please no committing of the crimes with my stuff. I don't want to end up on the news that way. So yeah, these are fun. The Pahoa is probably my favorite design for a wood stabby. Next to this is from the Middle East. These is an assassin stiletto. These were used by the Hassansins, also known as the Hashishins, which is where we get the word assassin. It depends on which historian you subscribe to as to whether they were called Hassansins or Hashishins. But they would use these as one and done weapons. It was wood that was sharpened to a point. You could easily get it up under your target's ribs, and fire super easy to come by. So you get away, toss this in a fire, and your murder weapon is ashes, and you are out of there. So for an assassin, it was a very good one and done type of weapon. I also have these on the shop. But please note, these are for entertainment purposes only, people. No committing of the crimes with my stuff. All right, let me put these up. Is there anything else you guys want to see? Let me know, because I only got a few more minutes. So if there's something else you guys want to see, let me know. I'm going to put these away. I'll see if there's something else I want to grab and show. All right, speaking of cultures with wood weapons, so next to the stabbies, you have the war clubs. Unfortunately, I can't sell war clubs on eBay because I am neither indigenous, and you cannot make weapons like this and sell them on eBay unless you are in a specific tribe or you represent the culture that the weapon is from. I do not. Obviously, I'm a blue-eyed white guy. Like, I'm not, which I get. That makes sense. I have no issues with that. But I can't sell them on eBay, so if you're ever interested in a war club, hit me up. I will do them as a custom order, but I can't sell them on eBay. This is a Polynesian design. It is Hawaiian rosewood, which is, if you've ever messed with Hawaiian rosewood, it's basically stone. It's got tiger shark teeth in the front that are embedded with natural resin and held on by faux sinew, just because it's so hard to get sinew. And one thing you'll notice here is it tapers towards the front and the back to diminish the striking surface, which is something you see a lot on war clubs. This here is a Tongan Maori design. Again, you see that taper on the tip to both sides. This is Ipe wood, very strong stuff. Well, yeah, this is probably my favorite war club because it is so nicely balanced. This is very similar to a tapered Atasi club, which is a Native American style club. This is an Atasi right here. It's made of hickory. Without the taper, it's got a flared handle, which is kind of nice. It helps keep it in your hand as you swing it. This one's also a very common design that you see. Some people kind of liken it to the Aztecs. The Aztecs, they would make a similar design to this. but they would embed obsidian blades into the sides of theirs. You see all that. You see that a lot. There's a really long name for them that I can't remember. But again, you see that same kind of taper to the sides, because what you want is you want a beefy center, but you want your side to be probably less than about a half inch, or because you want, if you want to crack a skull, you want all your force to be focused into a narrow edge. A Khopesh, you saw a Kopis, yeah. Not a Khopesh, but close. It's a Greek Kopis. Yeah, I did a Kopis last week. It was a short one, a short sword Kopis, but I do have one. Yes, it's a waster though. Can I show the coolest thing I'm making right now? I mean, to be honest, it's that Kuromi bat. I've got this thing. This is another War Club. I've shown this before. I don't know, but this is probably the most complicated thing I'm working on right now. Unfortunately, it's on hold because my bandsaw is broken. But this is a rifle stock type of War Club. This is a museum piece replica. This client saw this piece, thought it was really odd, and it is because most rifle stock War Clubs do not have pommels. And holy shit, I'm running out of battery. They don't have pommels. This one does. And I tell you, when I first made it, I thought that pommel was going to get in the way, and it does not. That pommel makes this super beefy War Club way easier to wield. The balance on this is fantastic. And I got it, but the one thing I got to do is I got to cut teeth into the bottom here where I've marked. I got to cut teeth into it. And my bandsaw broke right when I was needing to do that. And so my only other option is either to get my bandsaw fixed or saw this in by hand. And I don't know that sawing it in by hand is going to happen. This is also rosewood, which is insanely, it is so hard. I will burn through saw blades trying to saw this by hand. It is like trying to saw stone. But yeah, this is I would say is the most interesting thing I'm working on right now. I got one other that I'm working on next week. It's an oldie but a goodie. I've been sitting on this thing for a while. So back in the day, I was trying to figure out how to embed spikes into something. This is the first thing I ever embedded spikes into. It was just a piece of oak from a tree that came down in Hurricane Ian. And I shaped it out and embedded this. As you can see, I was still learning to use epoxy, so it's got epoxy all over it. I'm going to have to sand that off. So I'm probably going to sand this and maybe paint it. I haven't decided yet. I'm either going to stain it or paint it. I haven't decided. And finally get this thing out of the shop. It's been sitting in my shop for like 3.5 years, so probably about time for me to get rid of it. Not get rid of it, but sell it. Give it to someone who can actually use it. It's just been sitting on my wall. Well, you guys... But this one next week, you guys. This one, you're going to see this one next week. Oh, shit. I'm dropping stuff. Let's see if I can break something today. I dropped my blowtorch. It's not really a good thing to drop. Good news, though. It didn't explode. But, all right, you guys, I'm going to put these up. If you are interested in a War Club, though, you can hit me up on Instagram. NATRBROWN37, NatRBrown37. You can find me on Gmail. That's my Gmail address, NatRBrown37. You can find me on Instagram, NatRBrown37. If you just basically search Google for NatRBrown37, you're gonna find me. So, or just search Nathan Robert Brown. That's or Warrior Wood and Props. You're gonna find me either way. Hit me up with a message if you're interested in a War Club. I can't sell them on eBay, but I do make them. I do sell them, and I also do make custom orders. So I'm going to put these up. I'm going to come back, and we're going to wrap it up, peeps. Hopefully my phone is I just realized I was still wearing my apron. Forgot to take it off. All right, weirdos. You lovely bunch of coconuts. That is it for me today. The bloody boy. Well, I have to make a new nail bat to do that, but I will. And I'll make a nail bat and name him the Bloody Boy. But you guys, that is it for me today. I will be back on Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time here in the U.S. For Sunday finishing work. I'll be finishing all the stuff you just saw me stain, handle wrapping, doing all the little stuff. Now I gotta get off of here and go spray paint some barbed wire. So anyway, I'm out of here. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Take care. Hey, thanks, Sawyer. I look forward to it.